Anybody that wants a legacy business nowadays, you are going to have to digitalize your business because that's where the world has gone. Hi, I'm Natalia Nicholson, founder of Women in Digital Business, where we empower underrepresented women to thrive in the digital world. Welcome to our weekly Lunch and Learn. My name is Natalia Nicholson. I come to you every single Tuesday offering you nuggets, information, resources on how to really become visible online, build relationships online, authentic relationships online, to really be able to connect with people more, get leads in and convert those into sales and build a business. So today I am talking to you about legacy business, a word we keep hearing being thrown around on the internet, ladies, especially within the Black community. I think legacy is really important for us because a lot of our legacy has been removed within history. When we look at case studies like the Black Wall Street, how it got burnt down, how a lot of us, to really be able to get to that next level, we have to end up either maybe selling to the mainstream. When you even look at things like the music industry, there are really only 3 record labels. There is no such thing as an independent label. There's just many sports. If you think about how sports has been monetized, we get contracts. Within our community, legacy businesses have been really hard. Some of the first that have created legacy businesses like CJ Madden Walker. If you haven't watched it, please do watch it. Absolutely brilliant show that plays out her life story. These are all Drake and Drayden, the star of Black hair products. Black hair products make billions of dollars per year. We are not in the top level of that food chain at all. So I think when it comes to legacy businesses within the Black community, it's something that's quite questionable, because when you look over a period of time, there always seems to be a ceiling height to be able to take a legacy business and keep that Black ownership. And I think the internet has opened up a whole new wave of wealth. And within that, it's now possible for us as a community to be able to create legacy businesses ourselves by creating our own brand, creating our own audience, our own following, our own communities that we've got direct influence over, to be able to sell up legacy businesses that are going to last beyond us. So that is a topic today, but it's not just legacy we're going to be talking about. It's also talking about, okay, so how do we start or sustain a legacy business and it outlives algorithms? Okay, so what do I mean by that? Algorithms, we talk about it and it's a word that we throw around a lot on the internet, and I don't think we really understand how much power these channels have actually got over our content. And we've got to think beyond algorithms. I don't know if some of you remember that there was a time that Instagram went down for a day. If your community, your following, your people, your tribe are on a platform like Instagram, it just takes for Instagram to close down and poof, it's gone. You don't have ownership over that audience. TikTok just recently, was banned for a short time in America. Since it's gone back up again, the algorithms have completely changed, and it's changed people's lives. There were people that, are selling at 7 figures on TikTok. It's a great social media platform. And just by being taken down overnight, poof, your income's just completely gone. And then now that it has come back up again, hang on a minute, it's not working how it used to work in. My sales don't reflect that. It has a direct impact on the level of wealth that can be created, legacy businesses, and actually how far you can take your business. Okay, so sometimes you've got to understand that yes, the internet is there for all of us to be able to use, level ourselves up, create legacy brands, create wealth on our own terms. But at the same time, we've got to understand how these platform works, so we're on the right side of it and we're not taken out and taken down by them, and we're not controlled. So as much as people say the internet isn't controlled, it is controlled. And we've got to figure out what side of the fence are we going to sit on to really have a business that's going to be able to get us to that point of influence, to get us to that point of legacy, having a business that lasts beyond ourselves. Okay, so let's look at algorithms. Some of you who are in the same age group as me might remember the glory days of Facebook. The internet first came out, Facebook came out, it was very much a social platform. Then businesses started to realise, well, actually, I can connect with people and I'm able to actually sell my business, grow a community and be able to reach people ultimately. And you could even pay to reach people. Facebook is a powerhouse, also now owns Instagram. So back in around, I would say 2013, you could be spending, you know, anything from $50 to $500 depending on the size of your business and your ad budget, and you would get some serious heavyweight returns. Okay, you would be able to get really great leads, good quality leads. Facebook understood who your audience was. They were going to find it. You're going to get great quality leads, and the amount that you're paying for conversion compared to the amount that your product or your service costs, you're quids in. You know, you're paying like $5-10 a lead, and you might be selling something that's like anything from $100 to $10,000. So it was a really great way for you to find your audience and your tribe. The algorithms worked for us, especially in terms of advertising on social media channels. Then what happened to the algorithms? The big boys as usual, the greed of them, and they can't help it. They just don't want to spread the wealth. So 2013, Facebook, the glory days, the conglomerates are thinking, why am I paying all this money on TV advertising when it's just going to a broad audience at a particular time of the day or night, and that's how I'm targeting? Hang on a minute, this new social media paid thing, this is great. I can actually choose the people that I want to be able to see my adverts. I can target them. I can figure out, you know, what they do next. Are they going to click onto a page that I put together? I can even get their details. So even if they don't buy from me, I can let their leads. I can start to segment my audience. So I've got this broad target audience. Now I can track what each customer segment does, because not everybody in your target audience is exactly the same. So the big boys thought, well, hang on, what are we doing in paid advertising? And that's why you see digital advertising has done nothing, but it's going to be in the trillions soon. It's in the absolute billions and just keeps increasing. Go figure, the other day I was writing a proposal for a business that wanted to use TV advertising. In the UK, Sky TV, cable TV, is cheaper to advertise and launch a campaign on to do the same thing on Facebook. When did we reach this stage? It was £9,000 for a campaign to launch a TV advert campaign on Sky TV for this particular client. Don't quote and think it's that amount for, you know, everyone and everything, but you would think TV advertising is a lot more money than that. Actually, it's come down in price because you can target so specifically. The problem is, ladies, these platforms have got algorithms and they control how the content is being seen. Social media started on the premises of you like me, I like you back, and you create a following. Okay, correct? Now you've got the big boys that have entered into the market, and what they've done is they've drove the price of digital advertising up. So the poor small business now can't find their customers at the same rate they did before, and now they haven't got the return on investment, and it's shrunk their margins, and there's nothing they can do about it. That's what algorithms can do to your business. It can kill them flat. So if you want a legacy business, you're going to have to take algorithms into account. Now, I don't have a magic wand. I don't know like when the algorithm shifts and changes are going to be. So my advice to you is, when you're really thinking about content and you're thinking about building a community and building a tribe, and most importantly, building an email list, that's what's going to give you legacy. Access to an audience that knows, likes and trusts you and will buy from you again and again and again, based on a common theme of interest or based on something that is needed, wanted, and gives results. But you need to make sure that you're carrying that promotion and that content out on your own platform, or you're carrying it out in a place that does not dictate to you when your business starts, ends, monetizes, or has a decline. Okay, you've got to take your power back. If you want to be on the right side of a legacy business, you've got to think about your content and think, how do I keep ownership of my content? Okay, when we look back in the music industry, in our community, most of the great music artists never owned their own music. It created old wealth for a whole different race and different types of people that actually own the rights to their music, own the rights to their content. So let's learn from history here, okay? We want to make sure we got full ownership and control over our content if we want legacy. Okay, putting it on a platform and having it as a growing a community and exposing yourself to being visible online where the algorithms can change at any one time is dangerous. Sometimes, however, ladies, the algorithms will work for you. You know, like I said, social media started on the premises of you follow me, I'll follow you back, and we follow people that we like. That's changed. It's changed. For the first time ever, the algorithms are actually set to put content in front of people that they're interested in. So now the content is targeting people who it's going to show this content to based on their interests. And if their interests fall in line with the type of content you're putting together, it's easier to become visible. But ladies, it's not 1, 2, 3, I'm just going to do this within 2-3 months, boom, it's there. You know, YouTube at the minute is, you know, really pushing shorts, really encouraging people to put video content out there. And you'll find that if you do that at the moment on YouTube, you're going to get a lot of visibility, a lot of views. So a lot of people are running over to YouTube, and they want to be able to be on the platform because they want to get that visibility. You know, YouTube essentially is a search engine. It's owned by Google. It's a part of Google search. So ultimately, to grow on that platform, you should be doing videos on things that people are searching for, and then you might be giving them advice, doing tutorials, giving them more information. So that's the basis of the platform's built on. YouTube is now becoming a contender with something like TikTok because of the shorts, and it's becoming more of a social media and not just a search engine. So YouTube is a pretty powerful platform, but be careful, ladies, of how much content you're putting on there and how much you are gathering your tribe and your community and growing people that you can connect with on that platform. Because although the algorithms might be working for you now on YouTube, for those of you that are doing shorts, doing video content and getting really good reviews, as TikTok as well, actually, you know, TikTok is a great engagement channel. You know, we started posting on there just last year and went to like 1,000 followers in literally 2 months. You know, average post getting 700, 800 views. Now all of a sudden, my same posts are now getting 100 views or 200 views because the algorithms have changed. So if you are on YouTube and you're enjoying the, yay, look at my views, let me do more videos. Once YouTube changes that algorithm, then what are you gonna do? So when we're talking about legacy, we have to talk about algorithms, because you do not want the algorithms to dictate the rise and the decline of your own business. Within our community and within the Black community, Lord only knows, we have been controlled, we have been ostracized, we have been held down subtly in different ways, and it's been a struggle to really get seen and be visible. The internet's done that, so please don't fall into the trap of giving your content or giving the destiny of your business over to a channel and platform that will dictate how your business does depending on its algorithms. Okay? So I think I got my point across about algorithms. And do your research. You know, for those of you that wasn't a wave of, 2011, 2013 in the heydays of Facebook, look up what I'm saying to you. One of the things I always say to people, especially like say if it comes to faith and spirituality, you have to check things out yourself. So know that I don't ever just take anybody's word of what God, what Jesus, prophets have done. I'll go and check in the Bible and have my own understanding of it. So if you understand what I'm saying and you're thinking, yeah, she's got a point, go and do some more research on it. You can do it in about 0.5 seconds. Just go and use ChatGPT. Ask for case studies around how successful businesses no longer exist and have gone out of business due to algorithm shifts. Go and research and look up, how much would it cost to acquire the average customer in a coaching business on Facebook in 2011 and 2013. There is something to be learned about history. The more knowledge and the more experience you've got is the more you'll be able to draw on it to see trends that are happening, that you will start to see them happen again. So that's the algorithm part. Keep on top of these things. We're in the digital space now. It's not good enough just to be able to whack up a website on a website builder and put some posts out. You've got to understand this landscape. So stick with me, because I'm going to be pointing out some interesting stuff. And there's a solution to all of this. It's not doom and gloom. You understanding how to use software, automating software, and for you to create your own gated content, that is where things are going. Okay, that's where you need to be going. So we've looked at legacy. And legacy is crucial for us in terms of understanding it. But in terms of creating a legacy business as well, a lot of us, including myself, need to think, okay, if I didn't exist in my business, how would my business run? Okay? And a lot of us may have been asked this question many and many a time. So if you got, sounds so horrible, if you got knocked down by a bus tomorrow, I'm not suggesting that happens to absolutely anyone, by the way. How, all jokes aside, how would your business survive? How would you create that business model? And I think that's what you need to think of. There's a lot of experience and really great coaches out there that haven't come into digitalization. They're not in the digital world, and they're coaching one-to-one. How do you get that business to go to one-to-many and create a business model where you can help people on a mass and it doesn't need you to do it every day? Because that's what legacy businesses are. Okay, legacy businesses are businesses that you're going to create that will survive after your existence. Maybe you want the legacy of you to survive, and that's absolutely fine. There's a lot of people that we can look at that have got a legacy of actually what they did at that time. And it's an example for people to be better. If we look at just like the people of your Gandhis, your Martin Luther Kings, your Malcolm X's, these are people that their legacy will live on due to their belief. So you've also got to decide, what is your legacy? Is it breaking barriers? Is it belief? Is it being remembered for who you are? Or is a legacy business for you creating a business that's going to serve generations to come and still be in existence? And I think anybody that wants a legacy business nowadays, you are going to have to digitalize your business, because that's where the world has gone. We've also got the introduction of AI. Okay, AI is, learning from us all the time. Why do you think these tools are free or very lowly priced? How can ChatGPT just be literally $20 a month, and it's like having your own executive EA if you really understand how to prompt and use it? Okay, I've got AI softwares that save me an awful lot of time. Why are they priced at such an affordable price? You have to ask yourself this question. And they're priced at such a reasonable price because the AI is still learning from us to be able to build out more AI that's going to get smarter and smarter and smarter, to the point that when you go to place a Facebook ad, you won't even have to set the ad up anymore or understand the ad platform. You'll be able to just say what you want, who you want to target, and it will just do it all for you. There's a generation that's going to come in where AI just does it, and they don't even have to understand the back work or the proof of work that goes into understanding how to know to do that. So AI at the moment is being trained by us humans, and it's definitely being trained for those of us who are millennials and Gen X, and even slightly some baby boomers, depending on where you are in your journey with technology. It needs our wealth of information to ask it questions, to prompt it, because it's learning from us. It's machine learning. For every time we ask it a question, it will challenge itself and it gets to know things more and more and more. So if you've got AI coming into play, and you've got robotics coming into place, you've got Tesla launching robots. For the growth that we've had in technology in the last 5 years of AI going from the smartphone to WhatsApp to predictive text to Grammarly to now having this system that you can ask anything, and in a nanosecond it will give you the answer or a structure. It can code. You've got to be on the right side of AI. And to be on the right side of AI and to have a legacy business, you've got to think about, where is AI going? And now you need to think about, what do I do that AI doesn't do? And I'll tell you what we do that AI doesn't do. It hasn't got that human experience. So I truly believe we're going to see some great legacy businesses coming up that can change their model and be really innovative, adapt creative thinking, and think, how can I take my business structure that goes more from a one-to-one model for some people into a one-to-many? And once I'm into one-to-many, how do I replicate that information so I don't have to be the one to deliver it and still have a lot of impact? And how do I create the human elements that AI can't come and replace me? Okay, that's innovation. It's about being on the right side of it. Okay, so when we're talking legacy, we all really want to start looking at our business models and figuring out, how am I going to change? If this is the road you want to go down, how do I change my business model into a model that's going to serve generations to come? And to be able to do that, you're going to have to be able to spot market trends, spot gaps in the market, have a creative thinking process, understand innovation, and also have some opinion and take on where are the platforms going, so you can avoid getting suckered into things that could be actually the downfall of your business. In the heydays when it's all coming in and you're doing videos and you're getting all the views on YouTube and you're starting to get clients in those days back in 2011 and 2013, when Facebook was giving you all these great quality leads for an absolutely amazing price and you was able to level up your business, it's all great when it's going the right way. But once that algorithm changes, that's when it can feel like it's personal against you. And I think in our community we felt that so much, we can't help but think, oh, is this because of, I'm black? Is this because of X, Y, and Z? We question ourselves, we think these things. But the fact remains that actually we've got enough pattern in history to see and understand innovation and how that might play out in our own business. So I hope for today's session, I've really opened up your mind into really thinking about, how could algorithms affect my business? And if I want a legacy business to build on, how do I take into consideration algorithms and maybe try to spot and predict trends? You're never going to be able to predict it, but at the same time, any ownership of your own content, that's what you want. And also, building emails lists is not dead. In fact, it's the best thing that you could do right now. Even if you're not sure how to say, change your business model, maybe, the legacy business isn't for you. Maybe you're thinking, I just don't see the shift. The one thing that we should be doing is owning our content. Really told the story of music. Music is a beautiful example in a sense that we don't own our own music. Many black artists from the time, it's becoming a lot more apparent now, and you're starting to see a big shift. And ultimately, there are only actually 3 companies that control the whole music industry. There isn't really no such thing as an independent label because it's owned by one of the bigger companies. So when you just look at music, you've got to think about, now that you've got companies like Spotify setting up where we get music from, who owns the right to all of this content? Don't make that mistake. Own your own content. SEO is definitely the underdog of digital marketing channels in terms of being able to have a marketing strategy that you can push into your own gated community and your own funnel and not rely on channels. People are searching for you. They're searching directly for a problem. So if you can come up and, that prospect and that person believes that you are the solution to their problem, they will join your community. And SEO is dictated to the search engines will only show what is high quality content within search engine optimization. It's all done by spiders and bots that are scouring and looking for content of interest for the question that the person's put in. The user is actually dictating what they want to see because they're typing in a search query. So SEO actually is probably one of the underdogs of, driving traffic to your funnel that people really overlook because it's a lot of work. So before you start going off and just creating content, I think any advice or any community or anybody out there just telling you you've got to post, just follow this algorithm, all you're doing is following the trends. If you want a legacy business, you've got to create your own trend and you've got to be able to connect with an audience that connects back with you. And that is not by following the channel's trends, because what will happen is you will just be visible to people that like to hang out on social media. It doesn't mean to say that they're your customer. So, it's 12:30. I'm going to get off my soapbox. If there's any questions in the chat, I'm hoping today what you got was a whole load of nuggets, if you want me to be honest with you, and just got you to think of your business in a really different way, how you can be visible and how you can really think about scaling your business up and getting it to the level where you want. I don't want these sessions to overwhelm you. Everything that I talk about isn't for everybody, but it's good to understand digitalization and what's going on out there. And that's why it's important for you to stay connected to me and make sure you turn up weekly to these lunch and learns. If you want to figure out what strategy is going to work for you, how to put a strategy together that's for your business, how to be able to craft that user journey and funnel that relates to you growing that legacy business and you having a plan that's for you and your audience, make sure you check out the Queen of Funnel Mastery masterclass that I've put together, where you can really see how funnels changed my life. And make sure you go on the wait list, because we've actually got a Queen of Funnel Mastery program that is going to start on the 3rd of July, which is a 6-week program that's really going to take you through strategizing, putting together your funnel and understanding every single touch point within that user journey and funnel, and figuring out what channel you're going to use, how you're going to collect the data, how you'll build a list, what your lead magnet is, where you're going to convert, how you're going to make your audience excited, and how you're going to upsell them into other things that you do in a really strategic journey, and not being so all over the place. 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're there, and I've got back into it. Okay, thank you. I saw a thumbs up there. Thank you. So understand that your content has value. Understand that, your content can outlive you. Let's not make the same mistakes as things like the music industry. And just as I finish up today, I really want to go through a list of case studies of people that have created legacy businesses. Sometimes to really get your creative and the innovation flow of you out, because it's not actually that easy. When you're in your own business and you're in it every day, sometimes it's really easy to just not, the creative juices can just stop because there's so many other things that you've got to concentrate on. You've got the finance part, the operations, the logistics, the marketing, the content, the software, the IT. There's just so many different facets that you've got to work on to get your business to be successful. Some days, you can just feel like it's a lot, and it's hard to think creatively and with innovation when you're in a space where you can't breathe or you can't see outside of what you're doing. So I always find, for me, to get a fresh perspective, it's really good to look at competition. It's good to look at case studies. It's just good to look at what's going on out there, because it gives you ideas in turn. So there are a lot of legacy businesses that have been created, and some of the top 10, I would like to go through them with you today. And guys, do your research. You know, we're at a stage now where, let's face it, with ChatGPT, research ain't a thing anymore at all. So I put a list of people together. I know most of them, but I just kind of want to go through them and make sure I don't miss anything out. So number 1, we have got Miss Jessie's. So co-founder Miss Jessie's is a natural hair care brand, and she's built a legacy through exceptional products and customer relationships, not having to rely on social media algorithms. The proof is in her product. So that's another thing. Your product offering and what you offer to market needs to be 10 out of 10. Sometimes you can get so caught up in the funnel, the strategy and the selling, we can drop the ball, and especially for the coaches that put in programs together, we can drop the ball on the actual offering and how life-changing it is. If what you do really solves a problem in someone else's life, that will actually carry you through a legacy rather than the algorithm of a channel. And that's why I'm saying be careful not to abide by too much of the algorithms of a channel and the trends. Like with TikTok's a perfect example. TikTok gives you visibility based on the trends and based on the algorithms that it's got to do with music, to do with challenges, to do with the trends, etc. But sometimes you can be so focused on that and get a following up. The problem is the people that are liking the content, because you're doing content that's trending and you've got challenges, they're not your audience. They've got no intention of buying from you. So be really, really careful of that. So if you've got a product or service that speaks for itself, that's a great way to have a legacy business. We've also got Lisa Price, Carol's daughter, now on the shelves of Boots, Superdrugs and stores and pharmaceutical stores globally. Done phenomenally well. And again, this is another natural hair brand as well. And definitely focus on, again, authenticity and the quality of the product. Okay, and that authenticity story, because like I said, many of our products, pretty much all of our black hair products, are not actually sold by us. Patrice Washington is another person, created Redefining Wealth, focusing on financial education for women of colour. So she really focused on evergreen content, so podcasts, courses, and building trust beyond social media. And again, something like a podcast, something like creating a course, this is content that you own. It's not specific to a channel. Make sense? The next one is, I love her so much, Luvi. I feel like she's my best friend. I'd love to meet her. So we've got Luvi Ajay Jones with Awesomely Luvi. So she is a writer and public speaker, but Awesomely Luvi is a blog and a brand. So she's monetized and got legacy through content that will go on for years to come. She's got powerful TEDx's, powerful blogs. She's monetized through books and speaking, and she relies on authenticity and content algorithm, not platform algorithm. Two different things. Understand the value of your content. We have got Jasmine Starr, a social creator. So she is in digital marketing, and she created a social creator helping entrepreneurs with marketing. So she's built a legacy through training programs and membership models, ensuring long-term growth. Are we seeing a common denominator here? Content, but it's content that she owns and that can be found, not dictated to of who it's going to be shown to on a social channel. We got Nikki Gavani. Hope I pronounced that correctly. If I've mispronounced anything, you'll get used to me. I can be terrible at pronouncing stuff. It's not personal. She's in literature and education and is a poet and educator with a legacy in literature and social activism. She's created long-lasting educational content, going from books to blogs to case studies. And she has transcended platforms and algorithms. So I think what you can see here is content is the key. But for you to be definitely visible, for you to have a legacy business, you do need to think about your business modeling. You do need to think about your why of why you exist. And content is a really key important part of this, because content will outlive you. Okay, so that's enough from me for our weekly lunch and learn. I will see you back here next week, Tuesday. Can't wait. If you don't know what the next topics are coming up, make sure you check out our masterclass page on the website. And more importantly, if you're interested in taking this journey to the next level and really figuring out, what's your strategic path, how will you put your user journey and funnel together, make sure you join the masterclass and make sure you get on the wait list for our program that will be starting on July the 3rd. And by the way, we've got some early bird offers, ladies, and they are going to expire on the 27th of June. So if you're interested, just simply, if you're watching this on a replay, just email us at hello@womenindigitalbusiness or check out the Queen of Funnel masterclass and make sure you get on the wait list because it's a never to be seen price. You will never see the price we're offering it at again. Okay? So it's a wrap. Look forward to seeing you next week.